Thank you for this privilege of being here. I'm not going to keep you a long time, but when I got this, seen the text of asking for somebody to lead in prayer, it reminded me of a story that I received in the mail several years ago. So I'm not a good joke teller, so I want to read this to you, see if it's worth it, may not. When I read the text message that you wanted someone to come and lead out in prayer, it reminded me of a joke I received about a Baptist minister that got a phone call from a teenager whose mother was very ill. Brother John, he said, Mother wants you to come and pray with her. The Baptist minister was flattered since he knew the family attended the Church of Christ, but he had to ask, is Brother Sims, the Church of Christ minister, out of town? No, sir, said the boy. We don't want Brother Sims exposed to what Mother has. So anyway, I thought I'd share that with you. It's a bad joke. But now we'll come to the prayer. Let's pray. Our Heavenly Father, I thank you for your greatness, for your kindness. I thank you for your wonderful love and mercy that you've extended to us and proved your love for us at Calvary. We thank you, Father, for the privilege to live in a free country, and I pray that you bless this council as they continue to speak and talk about the different things that's so important to us. We pray, Father, that you help them to remember the things that is in their minds and needs to come out. I ask all of these things in Jesus' name and for his sake. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First up is we're going to have a presentation of a proclamation recognizing National Crime Victims' Rights Week here in Sutter County. Yeah, let's go up. Amanda, would you join us up here? Some of your staff, please. Well, thank you for coming out today. Oh, perfect. All right. Yeah, right here in the middle. Whoa, right there in the middle. Sorry. All right. National Crime Victims' Rights Week, April 24th through April 30th, 2022. Whereas the Sutter County District Attorney's Office Victim Service Division provides a vital and constitutional duty to the citizens of Sutter County and uphold the law with dignity while recognizing the rights of victims of crime, and whereas the victims' rights movement has resulted in the passage of laws at the local, state, and federal levels that establish essential rights for victims, and whereas Crime Victims' Rights Acts passed in California and at the federal level have provided victims with ways to participate meaningfully throughout the criminal justice process, and whereas the rights of crime victims are best protected when all participants in the criminal justice process are appropriately educated about victims' rights, and whereas supporting crime victims is crucial because it honors the experience of victims and allows them to find autonomy and empowerment through achieving self-defining goals, and whereas advocacy by and for the victims of crime it's itself a form of seeking justice, and the victims' rights movement inspire hopes for future progress and greater healing. And whereas the District Attorney's Office and Victim Service Program are determined to respond to crime and violence by helping victims find support, resources, and justice. And whereas National Crime Victims' Rights Week provides an opportunity to recommit in ensuring accessible, appropriate, and trauma-informed services to all victims of crime, and whereas the District Attorney's Office and the Victim Service Program is dedicated to strengthening victims and survivors in the aftermath of crime, building resilience in our communities and our victim service providers, and bringing hope and healing to all victims and survivors. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Sutter County Board of Supervisors proclaim this the week of April 20th through the 30th, 2022 as National Crime Victims' Rights Week, and express our sincere gratitude and appreciation for those community members, victim service providers, and criminal justice professionals who are committed to improving our response to all victims of crime so that they may find relevant assistance, support, justice, and peace, passed and adopted this 8th day of March 2022. Thank you.
Sure, we can say something. So this is a federal, obviously, it's a national acknowledgement for victims of crime. And here in Sutter County, we have been celebrating this for many years in conjunction with Yuba County. But for the last 8 years, our Victim Services Program has hosted multiple events throughout that week that can honor and provide support for victims here in Sutter County. Thanks.
Thank you. Let's go. All right, at this time, we are going to open up to public comment. All right, I see a couple speaker cards here, but these are on items, so is there any public comment? Okay, with no public comment, we are going to move on to the consent calendar.
Move for approval of consent items. Go ahead.
23?
Yeah, 1 through 23, please.
Second.
All right, with a motion by Supervisor Flores, second by Supervisor Baines. Can I get a roll call, please?
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmaier?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. All right, moving on to public hearing. We're going to open up the public hearing. I'm sorry, we're going to go on to 24, and we have Doug Libby.
Mr. Chairman, good afternoon. Doug Libby, Principal Planner for Development Services, here with you this afternoon. For this next item, it deals with actually an implementation item for our housing element in compliance with state law. You know, it doesn't seem like a week goes by in the media where you don't hear that about California's housing production not keeping pace with population growth, and that's especially true over the last year. Last decade, one of the ways the state has tried to address the housing shortage in the last 5 years is modifying second dwelling unit provisions in state law. They changed the name to accessory dwelling unit. Your board members might remember over the last 5 years, we've brought various packages of changes forward. 3, in fact, since 2017, to bring our ordinance consistent with state law requirements and the changes that the legislature keeps making. Today is the 4th time. But what is an accessory dwelling unit, or an ADU? It is a detached or attached secondary dwelling unit. It could be converted space. Typically, they're up to 1,200 square feet in size. ADUs tend to be significantly less expensive to build and offer benefits to address the common barrier into housing, which is affordability. In our county, where infrastructure can be sparse, ADUs provide an opportunity to develop additional housing stock if persons can locate a suitable septic system well and comply with the county's floodplain ordinance where applicable. Due to the many revisions that the statute has incorporated, staff significantly revised the provisions in the zoning code. And we included a track change version in your staff report, but just to summarize, we updated the definition of accessory dwelling unit to be consistent with state law, as well as added a new use type definition called junior accessory dwelling unit, or JADU, and I'll go into that in a moment. We added the JADU use type to our zoning district chapters 5 through 7. But we also eliminated the outdated standards in those chapters in favor of establishing a single consolidated new set of standards in Article 10, which is our accessory structure chapter. We included the revisions to lot coverage requirements, allowed heights, revised side and rear setback standards, specifying the development impact fee for establishing an ADU will be 50% of the adopted fee of a standard dwelling unit. And staff also attempted to simplify how the information is presented to make it more user-friendly. Article 10, we also added that new JADU, or junior accessory dwelling unit. Those can be up to 500 square feet in size, contained within an existing or proposed dwelling. They may share bathroom facilities with the primary home. They do require a separate entrance. And they require that they include what's called an efficiency kitchen, which is the statute provides a definition for. A deed restriction is required to be recorded to ensure compliance with the junior ADU standards. And finally, the statute prohibits the collection of development impact fees for junior ADUs. And last, we updated Article 27, which is that definition, statutory definition for efficiency kitchen. Now, you may remember that because Sutter Point is such a different development than what we typically see in the county, Sutter Point actually has its own zoning code, which is called the Land Use and Development Code, or abbreviated LUDC. The changes I just talked with you about, which are incorporated into the county's regular zoning code, were also carried forward into the LUDC to bring it both consistent with state law, especially since Lakeside at Sutter Point is going to be getting off the ground, and it will provide opportunities for secondary housing in that development. This item would be consistent with our new housing element policy H 3.4, which is encouraging accessory dwelling unit construction. And this is actually part of our implementation program to bring our ordinances consistent with state law. This item would be exempt from environmental review pursuant to Section 21080.17 of the Public Resources Code and CEQA Guidelines Section 15282H. This item went before your Planning Commission on February 16th, and it was recommended for approval by unanimous vote. No comments from the public were expressed or concerned. So that would conclude staff's comments unless you have any questions.
No, we'll open up to the public. All right, with that, we'll close the public hearing, bring it back to the board for discussion.
Did you have any speaker cards?
No, no speaker cards. Any? All right, with that.
I have a question.
Yes.
Through the chair. So, Doug, tell me about, you just mentioned Sutter Point. So ADUs, they could put an ADU, a new house goes up Sutter Point, obviously, but how does that work with their active living designation there for 55 and over? Is that also going to be, are they going to be held to that standard in the back as well? Or?
Yeah, Supervisor, I think that's a great question because although at least phase one of Lakeside will be active adult, what that means, deed restricted, is one person in the house has to be 55 or older, which means I'm approaching that point in time. And so I could actually buy a home down there. And if I had, you have grandma or you have your parents that need on-site care, that you could have an ADU where they could actually live in.
And would the ADU would that rule apply to the ADU as well? So does one of the members of the ADU, you couldn't put your children in the ADU, or okay? So it's not the 55 and older in the main house and ADU doesn't matter, age. Oh, okay. That's okay, right?
Somebody 55 and older has to be in the house.
In the main house.
In the main house.
And then somebody under 55 could be in the ADU.
In theory, but I say that'd be something we'd have to work out.
Okay. I'm just wondering, an active 55 adult, and then they bring their child who lives in the ADU.
Right, and that would be a concern of the school districts.
Understood. Okay, thank you.
Through the chair. So, Doug, would this also be referred to as like a mother-in-law's quarters? Could be?
Yes.
And so it could be pretty much used for a mother-in-law. It can be used for extra help, correct? That, for the elderly or whatever, correct?
Correct. The state has, when we talk about incorporating the standards, what that really means is the state has, in order to encourage these types of units, they reduce the standards of what cities and counties can impose. So it makes them easier to develop. You can construct them actually even out in our ag zone. So that's another housing opportunity out in the ag zone.
As long as it's not in a floodplain.
Well, if you can elevate.
That eliminates 70% plus.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea personally, especially, we've been calling them mother-in-law quarters for forever, and especially when most of our lots around here are almost a third acre out in the rural community where you could build, they're not in a flood zone. And, as our grandparents, parents, and even those with children that have special needs and have a live-in care, it's
I mentioned to the Planning Commission that I actually have an ADU on my property where my mother-in-law lives, and it works out really well.
all right. So bring it back to the board, looking for a motion.
To the chair. Make a motion for approval of the recommended action.
To the chair. May I?
Oh, sure.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Honorable Chair and Supervisors. Doug, question for you. Since Supervisor Flores brought up Sutter Point, and he had a great question and great point. The developers currently are going with the active adult, and there's part of it is working out an agreement with the schools. If people were allowed to have children in an ADU, wouldn't that have an impact possibly on the schools, and would be something that would have to be worked out before that was implemented in Sutter Point?
Yeah, that's why I kind of hesitated on giving a full-fledged support of that, because it's going to be something that we're still negotiating the agreements with the school districts.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure we were aware of that point. Thank you.
So just for, my thing was thinking more about the 55 and older plus in the main house, and the children are going to be in their 20s. So this is a different age, but so I don't think that would be so much a concern the school side, right?
But that sparked a discussion. I leaned over to council, and we don't want, there could still be grandkids that live with parents, and we'd hate to have something where not only within the community itself could it cause a disturbance, but does it have an impact on schools, and they're not receiving fees.
Understood.
To make up for that population.
All right, thank you.
Wouldn't that be their, what do you call them, HO? No, CCNRs. Yeah, that should be addressed in their CCNRs, whether they would even allow it.
I don't think they can override the states.
Yeah. Well,
from what I heard, they can't override the CCNRs can't override the state rules that are coming in.
so is this something we should table until we get this completely? Because, Supervisor Flores, that is very relevant. That's very,
So, Mr. Chairman, I would suggest that the requirements we brought forward, it is state law. We have an obligation, I would suggest, to adopt them. But in the meantime, we're going to be negotiating those discussions with the school district, which we would make sure that those issues get vetted so that it doesn't create an issue by the time Lakeside.
Oh, no, I agree with that. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan of the whole moving the plan first phase through. So, like I said, it's going to be tough on the school districts out there. And this is only going to be less funding for the school districts if school-age children were part of that other first community. All right, so we have a motion by Supervisor Flores, second by Supervisor McKelly. And can I get a roll call, please?
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmaier?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Can you read the title of the ordinance, please?
An ordinance of the County of Sutter amending certain sections of Chapter 1500 of the Ordinance Code, incorporating statutory changes regarding the development of accessory dwelling units in the unincorporated county.
Thank you. Moving on to item number 25, appearance item. Mr. Hamill.
Authorization to apply for, execute, and administer the 2021 Emergency Management Performance Grant, American Rescue Plan Act for $60,759.
Good afternoon, Chair and Board of Supervisors. My name is Zach Hamill, and I'm the Emergency Operations Manager for Sutter County. And before you is just what the clerk read off, is the ability to apply, execute, and administer the Emergency Management Performance Grant. Typically, we get this grant every year. However, this one is special where it's a supplemental grant that's on top of our normal allocation from the state. Recently, our phone system failed at the Emergency Operations Center and Fire Station 6 out in Sutter. So one of the identified projects for these funds would be to implement a new phone system out at the EOC, which is why we're bringing it to you so quickly and asking for a sole source. Because that is a critical component to the fire station and to the Emergency Operations Center for being having a successful outcome during a disaster. The two additional projects identified in this grant would be a video conferencing and audio system for the Emergency Operations Center, and then two additional mobile radios that we've identified as a need for the command runner that was approved during the consent items.
To the chair.
Hold on. First of all, we're going to, is there any speaker cards on this? Okay. Going to open up to the public. Any public? All right. Bring it back to the board. Supervisor Baines?
Move to approve.
Second.
All right. I got one question on this, Zach. How long is it going to take, and how long has this been down? And this, like you said, this is all being paid for by the state, so which is an awesome thing. I'm assuming this is the original phone system that was put in there when they first built it?
That's correct. So the phone system is about 20 years old, and I will clarify that this is a 50-50 match grant, but we're utilizing the funds that we already have in our budget to meet the match. I've been working with the IT department. We currently have a Band-Aid, and the Band-Aid's been in place since about December. So that's why we're trying to work so quickly to get this implemented.
All right, sounds good. All right, so we have a motion by Supervisor Flores, second by Supervisor Baines. Call for opposite, flip it around. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmaier?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Moving on to item number 26. Ms. Gina Rowland.
Approval of a new countywide Be Well employee wellness program.
Hello, good afternoon, Chairman Ziegenmaier and members of the Board of Supervisors. My name is Gina Rowland, Human Resources Director. Okay, so I'm excited and very proud to present you with a recommended wellness program for Sutter County employees called Be Well Sutter County. Be Well Sutter County is a program developed by employees for employees. And I'd like to take a moment now to introduce the employees who are participating in the development of the program. So when I call your name, will you please stand? Daisy Aguilar from the Sheriff's Department. Haley Thompson from the Probation Department. Allison Watkins from also the Probation Department. We have Veronica Baumgardner with Human Resources and Sarah Wolfgram from Health and Human Services. We're missing another person who's been instrumental or who's helped us in the development of the program, and that's Michelle Blake. She's in Italy, as far as I know. So the Be Well program encourages employees to take charge of their own well-being and personalize their experience by setting wellness goals that are specific to their interests and by participating in ways that best meet their needs. So why are we doing this? First, at your board meeting on June 22nd of last year in 2021, you approved the closure of the Sutter County Health and Wellness Clinic. During that presentation item, staff reported that the county was required to meet and confer with bargaining units over the impacts of the clinic closure. Human Resources began meeting with representatives from the General Supervisory and Professional Bargaining Unit and members of the Probation Association, who were the only bargaining units who requested to meet and confer with the county. Their position was that the clinic was a benefit to employees that could not be taken away without something to replace it. So the recommended Be Well program before you today is the result of 6 months of work with the bargaining units and hours of research into wellness programs and best practices. The recommended program also satisfies one of the Board of Supervisors' top leadership priorities, which is to create and promote activities that encourage employee wellness. Finally, the program represents your investment for the county's future in terms of reduced health care costs, and I'll talk more about this in another slide. So what is wellness? Quickly, wellness is defined as the state of being in good health, especially as an actively pursued goal. It involves making disease prevention a priority and setting healthy lifestyle goals. Wellness is not one size fits all. What works for one employee may not work for another employee. So the program's been designed to provide a little something for everyone. Our recommended program focuses on 5 areas of wellness: physical, mental, financial, occupational, and social. So why is this important? The county is a member of PRISM Health Program, which is an insurance risk pool comprised of approximately 40 public agencies. Since its inception, the PRISM Health Program has consistently outperformed the market. However, Sutter County's health insurance rates continue to be amongst the highest of all PRISM member agencies. This is due in part to the high dollar costs of Sutter County employee independent health insurance claims. The top 5 most expensive diagnoses of employees' independence are pregnancy-related disorders, cardiac disorders, cancer, musculoskeletal disorders, and gastrointestinal disorders. In addition, Sutter County's medical claims experience was impacted by a 184% increase amongst employees' independents in neurological disorders from 2019 to 2020. And a 185% increase in mental health claims. Improved employee wellness leads to fewer medical visits. Fewer medical visits results in lower claims to our medical plan, and lower claims results in lower health plan premiums. So if approved by the board, the new program would be implemented with the start of the new fiscal year, July 1. Participating employees are eligible to earn up to $525 in cash incentives. Taxable cash incentives. $25 for completing an annual wellness assessment survey. This survey is used to help employees identify their unique wellness goals each year and also assesses their satisfaction with the program year over year. And the survey results assist us in measuring the effectiveness of the program. $250 for completion of at least 4 wellness education offerings, referred to as engagements. Examples include diabetes education, stress management courses, financial planning, or attending the employee health fair. $250 for completion of at least 4 unique activities centered around physical movement. Examples include participating in county-sponsored fitness challenges or joining a wellness club or group activity. The first payment of incentives would be made the first full pay period in July of 2023, so at the conclusion of this fiscal year. There are 6 carefully designed elements of the program. Outreach and education involves ensuring employees are well informed of all of the wellness resources already available to them through the county-sponsored benefits, and offering training classes in other wellness areas. Incentives, which we've just covered, provides financial rewards for setting wellness goals, engaging in county-sponsored wellness education and events, and participating in activities that promote physical movement. Wellness extras include identifying discounts available to employees and their family members for local gym memberships, county-sponsored fitness challenges, and county-sponsored participation in community events such as the Pink October, Walk Run, Relay for Life, and Bike Around the Buttes. Wellness captains are liaisons with the Be Well Committee and assist with organizing county-sponsored events and activities, as well as gathering and reporting data that assists us in measuring the program. Employees are encouraged to connect with each other through wellness clubs and group activities. Wellness clubs can be organized by any employee, and they take place at the work site. Club members gather during their breaks or lunchtime to participate, and examples of a wellness club at the workplace might be a walking club or a book club or a yoga club. Group activities can also be established by any employee and for activities that take place outside of work. Examples may include a weekend hike or an evening cooking class. Employee family members and friends may participate in group activities that are held outside of county work hours. So the program was built on the value that a shared wellness journey helps employees get motivated and stay motivated to meet their personal goals. Coworkers, spouses, partners, friends, and family members All have a tremendous influence on an employee's wellness and are encouraged to participate in the program. However, only Sutter County employees are eligible for the cash incentives. Participation is 100% voluntary. Staff has researched participation rates in wellness programs for small and medium-sized organizations. According to a study conducted by the Interdisciplinary Center for Healthy Workplaces at the University of California at Berkeley, the average participation rate in the first year of a new wellness program is about 36%. We're actually hoping for a higher participation rate and have set a larger goal for ourselves to try to get 50% participation. Factors that support participation and which have been built into the recommended program before you today include having an organizational commitment to employee health, employee involvement in the program design, a supportive workplace environment, and friendly competitions among coworkers. This is just an overview of the program. I realize it's really small. I won't go into detail on this one, but it was included as an attachment to your staff report. I think I missed one. I think so. That's all right. So the slide that I skipped was the Be Well Committee, many of whom I just introduced you to earlier. So the Be Well Committee is established, or would be established, to build and sustain a culture of wellness in the organization and to work closely with HR to oversee, implement, and monitor the program. All right. Oops, I went too far. Can you go back to the video? So we have a short, about 6-minute video that was put together by one of the members of our team, Allison Watkins, who's just masterful, that kind of puts together all the elements of the program. You need to click the link inside of it, or go to it inside and press Control.
Welcome to Be Well Sutter County, an employee engagement and wellness program created by employees for employees. We are your wellness committee, and we've created this short video to give you an overview of the program. The goals for this program are to promote employee engagement, encourage a healthier work-life balance, prevent, manage, and improve chronic diseases, create a happier and more productive workforce, decrease absenteeism due to illness, reduce healthcare costs, and improve the overall health of our community. Wellness is defined as the state of being in good health, especially as an actively pursued goal. It involves making disease prevention a priority and setting healthy lifestyle goals. But wellness is not one size fits all. Your wellness needs are unique to you. So we've identified 5 focus areas for Be Well Sutter County. They are physical, mental, financial, occupational, and social. We believe focusing on these 5 areas of wellness will help us meet our program goals, but also give employees the tools to create their own personalized experience and take charge of their own wellness. So who gets to participate? Well, you do. All benefits eligible employees are able to take part, even if you're not currently enrolled in a Sutter County health plan. In addition, we recognize that a shared wellness journey helps employees get and stay motivated. So bring your family and friends along, as some of our activities will be open to them as well. Be Well Sutter County will use a 3-prong approach to improving wellness for you and your loved ones. First, let's talk about outreach and education. Outreach and education is our job. Your Be Well Committee and HR will work together to ensure employees are well informed of all resources available to them. This will be accomplished by a series of ongoing campaigns using our website, social media, email, and printed materials. Next is Wellness Extras. Wellness Extras are added benefits that may include things like local discounts and scholarship funds for community-sponsored activities like fun runs or marathons. And finally, we have the incentive program. The incentive program gives employees the opportunity to earn financial rewards while working towards their wellness goals. It has 3 basic parts. First is the Wellness Assessment Survey. This will help employees gauge their own wellness needs, goals, and satisfaction with the program. You must complete this part in order to access the next 2 parts. You will earn $25 for completing this quick online survey. The next part is engagements. Engagements are incentive opportunities centered around wellness education and programs. Examples may include diabetes education, stress management courses, or financial planning. Employees must complete at least 4 engagements per fiscal year to earn this incentive. You will earn $250 for completing all your engagements. The last part is activities. Activities are incentive opportunities centered around physical movement. Examples may include going to the gym, participating in a county-sponsored challenge, or joining a wellness club or group activity. Employees must complete at least 4 unique activities per fiscal year in order to receive this incentive. You will earn $250 for completing all your activities. Most engagements and activities are planned and organized by your wellness committee. But 2 types of activities are planned by you. Wellness clubs hold ongoing activities specific to their club type and take place at work. Examples may include a walking club or a yoga club. Members who regularly participate in a wellness club will earn credit for 1 activity. Group activities are one-time events that take place away from work. Examples may include a weekend hike or an evening cooking class. Participants of group activities will earn credit for 1 activity. Available wellness clubs and group activities will be posted on our website so that employees can easily find them and join. Wellness clubs and group activities are created by organizers. Any employee can become an organizer. As an organizer, not only will you earn credit for the activity, but you'll also earn credit for 1 engagement to reward you for your organizing duties. Find more information about how to become an organizer on our website. Last but not least, our wellness captains. Wellness captains help run Be Well Sutter County by serving as points of contact to employees, promoting the program, assisting with events, and attending to a list of other duties. Any employee can apply, and a select number will be chosen. Successful completion of duties will qualify wellness captains for an additional $200 incentive and the choice of credit for 1 engagement or activity. Visit the website for more information about becoming a wellness captain. So thanks for taking the time to check out the program. We hope to see you out there because we believe actively pursuing wellness will help Sutter County employees feel well, move well, eat well, connect well, lead well, age well, retire well, and be well.
All right. Would that conclude your part of the presentation?
The costs, thank you, which paid for the costs associated with the wellness clinic, which, as you know, was officially closed December 28th. The Wellness Internal Service Fund also pays for the county's employee assistance program and the Cortico wellness apps for fire and law enforcement employees. So going forward, it's recommended that departments make a $20 flat rate wellness contribution per employee per pay period. This funding is expected to generate approximately $417,000 per fiscal year, and it represents a savings to all county departments of approximately $267,000 over current wellness contribution amounts, and specifically a general fund savings of approximately $155,000. The funding generated will be used to pay for employee incentives and other costs associated with the program, including educational and marketing materials, county-sponsored challenges and prizes, entry fee sponsorships, and other wellness-related activities that benefit county employees. Department's wellness contributions are already included in the budget for this fiscal year and will be included in the budget for next fiscal year. And then lastly, I just wanted to share that annually the Be Well Committee will evaluate the program and report back to the board on established program measures that identify how much did we do, how well did we do it, and most importantly, is anyone better off? So this is just a list of those performance measures that we've established for the program. So we have about, in closing, we have about 970 active full-time employees. Of these employees, approximately 87% live in either Sutter County or Yuba County. So if Sutter County can implement a robust, well-rounded wellness program that encourages employees to take charge of their own well-being, and that encourages and provides opportunities for employees to share their wellness journey with friends and family members who also live in Sutter County and Yuba counties. Our organization, the Sutter County organization, has the amazing potential to significantly influence the wellness of our community as a whole. And with that, that concludes the presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Through the chair.
Let's open it up to the public first. Okay, I have two cards. We'll call up our first speaker, our Sheriff Brandon Barnes.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Chair and members of the board. I just really wanted to come in today and offer some comments in support of the Be Well program. You know, speaking on behalf of public safety, which, you know, includes fire and our law services, this profession is tough, and it can take its toll on you both physically, emotionally. It can impact relationships that you have at home. And so I'm just very glad to see that the county is taking time to invest back in our employees. I think that's important. I really wanted to also say thank you to Gina and to everybody that took the time to work on this and present this, because I think it's a very well thought out and laid out product. And I just kind of wanted to share a couple of things that I actually like about it. So first, I think it goes beyond just physical fitness. It focuses on other areas like financial and social components, which are very important, again, specifically in public safety, because those are areas that we don't always kind of focus on sometimes. The other part that I like about this is that unlike probably in the past or other wellness programs I've seen, this is not the county telling the employees what's good for them. This is the employees telling us what they believe is good for them. And I think we should probably take note of that because I think that if they have buy-in, they'll certainly do some of these activities and they'll invest. And then the last thing I like is that it's really incentive-based, because one of the things that I hear pretty frequently is the county should provide us gym memberships. Well, I don't disagree with that, but I will say that the ability to go back and recoup some of those costs that you would pay for your gym to the tune of about $525 annually will offset those costs. And I know I pay probably a little over $400 a year. So I'll have the ability to earn that money back just by doing things that I naturally do anyway, signing up for a 5K, taking a cooking class. I know if you follow me on Facebook, my wife made me do some swing dancing this weekend. So, you know, those are things that I would get credit for, and I would be able to recoup those costs and actually pay for my gym membership. So I really appreciate that. Again, I think this plan is very well thought out. I just wanted to come here today and offer my support and say thank you to everybody that took the time to invest in this, and I hope the board will give it good consideration. So thank you.
Thank you. Next, we'll ask Alexandria. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Alexandria Mazarol, and I'm here from Blue Zones Project. First off, I just want to applaud you, Sutter County. This is an incredible program that goes hand in hand with our initiative and mission here in the community as well. First off, I'd like to thank the board and Sutter County for supporting our Blue Zones Project Real Age Test campaign. We have seen the excitement and passion that Sutter County has for health and wellness firsthand through implementing this test. Not only did 334 employees take the real age test, but we received countless testimonials, which included feedback, insight, and best practices that Sutter County employees learned from the real age test. The information we were able to gather through your participation is truly invaluable as we develop our action plan for community well-being. We applaud you for considering our collaboration with the Be Well Committee, and we look forward to partnering with Sutter County's Be Well program by offering resources and expertise and identifying wellness best practices to help make lasting changes to the workplace environment in hopes of having Sutter County become one of our very first Blue Zones Project approved work sites in the Yuba-Sutter area. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any more speaker cards? Seeing none, I'm going to bring it back to the board.
The chair?
Yes, Supervisor.
Thank you. Gene, I just want to say thank you for all the work you put in. And ladies, thank all of you. As I understand, it was quite an involved process to come up with this program. And we had some meetings this morning, and it looks very good. And so I'll let you know that I'll be in favor of this. Thank you.
The chair.
Yes.
So I also want to thank everybody for all the time they put in. I think it's a great idea, a great program. Yeah, like Sheriff said, it doesn't just do gym memberships. It talks about mental health issues as well as physical and financial, and it's a balanced plan, very balanced. I'm very impressed with it. But I am concerned about on the page, the Be Well Better, the 184% increase in neurological disorders in 2019-20, and 185% increase in mental health. Do you think this is partly because of COVID?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Okay. That's what I was wondering. I just was a little shocked.
One of the interesting things that we, just to tie Blue Zones back into this, that we found with the Blue Zones Real Age Test is that we had one of our highest, I guess, conditions or employee areas was depression and mental health issues. So that is a big issue overall. It could be in part to kind of destigmatizing it, and we're talking about it more, but also COVID.
With our numbers, that numerical data has to be pretty accurate. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor.
Through the chair, I'd like to also commend you guys on putting this together. I think it's great. What an awesome program. I can't wait till we all participate, and I'm going to challenge Supervisor Baines to take the yoga class. I'll do the cooking class, but he can do the. But this is great work. Really excited about it. It's a well-known fact that employees who are well and healthy are happy and more productive as well. And I think this is a really fantastic investment on the behalf of Sutter County employees and Sutter County as a whole. So I also will be supporting it fully. The one thing I do want to ask, so we're passing it, but reviewing annually, I think looking at these performance measures is really critical. So I want to make sure we're looking at those annually. I'm going to make a motion that we do pass it, but I just want to make sure we do have this back every year to review the performance measures.
Yes, so the appropriate time next year would be, so the incentives will be paid first pay period in July. So a board meeting in August should allow us time to gather the participation data and other qualitative performance measures. So we can come back next August.
Awesome, thank you. And I'll move for approval. I know there's further comments by Supervisor Baines, but he's taking me up on my challenge.
Yes, Supervisor.
Thanks. Again, I just want to thank you all for a great presentation. Look forward to participating as well, and I'd like to second the motion.
All right, I'd like to say something now. I think you guys hit it out of the park. I think this is amazing. I was talking to my wife about this today at lunch, and the one thing I really love about it is it really, it brings the family together, because we have a lot of things we're going to introduce over the next couple months. Neighborhood cleanups, adopt a neighborhood, stuff like that. I love the scholarship opportunities we have a lot of 5Ks, and we have the Butte Run that is coming up very shortly, and it allows employees and their spouses to take part in it, and it helps take care of that. And like our sheriff said, talking about if you This is not very tough to commit to. It really isn't. I'm a part of a Friday group. We call it our Friday run group. We run every Friday, even though we run every day. And it's, it all counts towards it. And you're not forcing something. Let's face it, a lot of people don't like go see the doctor. They really don't. And it's not forcing you to do that. It's saying, hey, just take this survey and go help yourself, which in turn is going to help your family and vice versa. But it's a really good thing. You really knocked it out of the park. This is amazing. This is well worth it, and our health is priceless. So I'm just hoping that let's see what we could put the challenge out there to every employee. Like, let's work on every employee in Sutter County and really try to see where we're at in the next. Let's see where we're at in 2 months when it starts, and then kind of, every few months to see how we progress and really push ourselves to get there. And this stinks now that we're starting to open it up to potlucks again. Now we're trying to get healthy.
Well, we can do potlucks that have healthy food choices.
Well, that's not fun. That's why we run and exercise. We'll eat responsible. Exactly. Yes. Yes. So awesome. All right. So we have a motion by Supervisor Flores and a second by Supervisor Conant. I'm sorry.
I already made it.
All right.
You did.
Okay. He's going to steal your thunder. Second by Supervisor Baines. Can we get a roll call, please?
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmaier?
Yes.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
All right. Motion passes. Moving on to item number 27.
Consider options for Sutter County support of Farm Fest October 7th and 8th, 2022.
Good afternoon, Leanne Link, Assistant County Administrator. This item is a continuation of a conversation or a discussion at the last board meeting on March 8th. The board has been presented an opportunity to be a co-owner of the Farm Fest festival, which is tentatively scheduled for October 7th and 8th, 2022 this year at the Yuba-Sutter Fairgrounds. The board expressed a desire to have some other options and to discuss further. So staff has come back with a couple of options, but it is not an exhaustive list. The first would be to be a co-owner of the event. The event would largely be coordinated by Sapphire Marketing Group. However, they have agreed to donate half of their time for that coordination toward a successful event. And then at the conclusion of the event, the profit or the net revenue from the event would be split equally between the county and Sapphire Marketing. The other option that's presented in the staff report is to simply make a donation to be a name sponsor, a large sponsor of the event. In the alternative, the board could choose to sponsor at a lower level or a higher level or some sort of hybrid. I would be happy to answer any questions, and also Carrie Hauk from Sapphire Marketing is here to answer questions as well.
To the chair.
Yes, Supervisor.
So, Leanne, do you have a recommendation out of those choices? Does the staff make a recommendation from the choices, or is that just leaving it up to the board?
I would defer to CAO Smith on that.
Okay.
Thank you, Honorable Chair and Supervisors. So these types of festivals are pretty complex for staff to look through, and I just wanted to walk you through the process quickly. For us, it's not as simple as, hey, we can have this event and look at splitting any possible proceeds. We have to look at the tax implications for the county if there were a net profit from the event, and how could we use that money rolling forward to, say, a future event. We have to look at the liability for the county if something happens at the fair. What does our insurance cover? And then we also have to look at is that a proper use of public funds to go towards an event like this? So with that considered and time being limited what it is, my recommendation would be to make a contribution this year. It does not need to be the amount in the staff report. It can be any amount the board determines. We typically give $5,000 to $10,000 for different community groups for events. I know there have been some concerns on the timing of the event because of farmers in harvest for, I think, in that time, almonds and almonds, walnuts, and there was rice. Sorry, thank you. So, but that being said, I think it's fair to hear from Carrie Hauk about the additional details that we heard prior for the public that hasn't heard that yet, and for the board for any updates. And then if there's questions about insurance or any related matters, we can go ahead and discuss that.
I don't have the presentation with me today, so my apologies.
I think it's all pretty fresh in our minds. I mean,
Okay.
we like I said, yeah, we have a
Oh, perfect. Okay, and they have,
I mean, if you
have
want
it
to, Cliff.
ready for us. So thank you so much. So I'm Carrie Hauk with Sapphire Group. We put on the Peach Festival for the city of Marysville and the Christmas Parade for the city of Marysville. One of the things that we hear over and over again is we need to bring back the Prune Festival. It was so awesome for our community, and we agree, but we think the Prune Festival has had its time, it's run its course, and what we would like to do is create a festival that celebrates all of the commodities grown here in Yuba-Sutter. So we look at it like three silos. The first one being Yuba-Sutter produce, then more of a Northern California type commodities, then statewide commodities. We would like to have a festival that brings tens of thousands of people here to Yuba City and has a huge economic impact for Sutter County and Yuba City. So do we want to? Okay, that's just about us. So what we did first for the public who hasn't seen this is we did a survey, a community survey, asking them, the community, to tell us how many more events they'd like to see in like downtown Yuba City corridor, because that was originally where we wanted to hold this, was in downtown Yuba City. And that option is still on the table in this presentation because it is $25,000 to rent the fairgrounds now. So in this survey, the top response was they'd like to see 2 additional major festivals in Yuba City. And so 43.48% of the respondents indicated that. The second highest ranked, which surprised us, was 5 more major festivals a year. So we'd like to start off small. Let's do 1 major festival, and let's maybe grow it from there. And then these are the options we provided to the public. What types of events and festivals would you like to see? So we have concerts, home, bridal, and garden shows, film festivals, chef competitions, off-Broadway shows, parades, and then festivals and cultural events, spirits, beer and wine, classic car and motorcycle shows, holiday-related festivities, and then people who, of course, were not interested in any additional events at all. So festivals ranked the highest at 78.26%, and concerts ranked second highest at 73.91%. So what we did with Farm Fest is marry those two. So we're celebrating the commodities grown here and really shining a light on our farming community and trying to get people to buy locally grown produce. I used this example a couple of weeks ago, but like Charlie Matthews out of Yuba County, I don't know what label to buy his rice under, and I've lived here my whole life. And I don't know what can of peaches to buy at the store to make sure I get Baines peaches that are grown here in Sutter County. So it's more of an educational component and to get people to really invest in our farming community and have our farmers do well and thrive. So we're marrying that commodities festival with a music festival. It's too late now for this October, so we will have some smaller music acts, but we had John Michael Montgomery lined up to come here this October as our main headliner. And next year we will look at bringing another major headliner back that's more like a 90s type, where they reach their peak in the 90s, but country music type festival. And we've talked about growing this into a farm show in the long term as well. So there are 2 options that we put out here, and I know Leanne gave you some options, but and our presentation was co-ownership or full ownership by the county. So the co-ownership would be with Sapphire Group. Full ownership would be the county owns it and would contract with us to put on the festival. That's what we do with Marysville. And then, of course, we're going to seat a huge committee. We have people that were on the Prune Festival committee that are ready to hop in and help us with this. But we would like representation from all the major top 10 commodities in each county to be on that committee to help us as well, to make sure that they have good representation at the festival. And some of the other components are the kickoff Taste of Yuba-Sutter partnership with the Chamber of Commerce. We want to do a farm to fork dinner down Plumas Street or D Street. Remember, this will be based in Sutter County, but we would like it to reach over the bridge. The bridge is not that far, and a lot of people don't like going over the bridge, but we would like to try and marry the two communities. So a farm to fork dinner either down Plumas Street or D Street to try and be inclusive of Yuba County and Marysville. A harvest party, farm tours. One of the things I shared with Supervisor Conant when I talked to him was one of the things that I take for granted every day when I drive home during rice harvest is that visual of a harvester in a bank out wagon at sunset working the rice field harvesting with the sunset and the Sutter Buttes in the background. Some people have never seen that. They don't even know what's going on. So imagine sharing that over a glass of Munger wine with someone who has never seen that happening before. So we're just sharing our lifestyle, our rural lifestyle, and celebrating that with people who don't get to see that every day. And then, of course, farm tours, farm stand maps, and self-guided tours. We talked about doing a wine trail event here in Sutter County as well as Yuba County. And then, of course, educational displays, agriculture education, and this is really agritourism. And then, of course, children and family engagement. And then, of course, we talked about music. So if it's at the fairgrounds, we will have a headliner eventually, not this year. We're going to scale back for this year. If it's in downtown Yuba City, we can have 2 stages of entertainment. We are able to do that successfully in Marysville with a very small budget. So I believe we can do something similar in Yuba City. And then we have set some sponsorship goals. You see $120,000 if we do it at the fairgrounds and $100,000 if we do it in downtown Yuba City. Our internal goal is $150,000. And then there's 2 budget scenarios. I won't bore you with all the details, but if anybody is interested in receiving this, I'd be happy to email it to you. But the budget scenario with having it in downtown Yuba City would be a net projected profit of $4,000. And if we have it at the fairgrounds, now at the fairgrounds we're able to charge a fee at the gate, $5 per person. So that brings our net profit up to $56,000. And one of the observations at the last board meeting was, the profit portion. If we're splitting that profit in the end, the county's not really a for-profit. I think Supervisor McKelly mentioned that. I think there's all kinds of great nonprofits that are involved with the county, like there's several at the Sheriff's Department. I think there may be some at the Fire Department where we could give that money to a county-related nonprofit, so to get rid of that profit piece if the county is looking to do that. Are there any questions?
Any questions? We do not. Okay, so let's talk about that. We're going to open it up. Do we have any? No. All right, we're going to close that up, open up, bring it back to the board for discussion.
Oh, I through the chair discussion before we vote. First of all, I think that it is a great idea. I really like it. I especially like the farm to fork dinner. And whether this gets approved or not, I mean, I'd love to see that happen for sure. I don't know, was the Farm Bureau who put one of those on a few years ago? And it was a wonderful event. I do just wonder, timing wise, do we have enough time? I know you said you'd scale back for this year. I have some concerns about the time and resources it might take away from our staff here at the county for an event like this, when it's not a service for the public, which is what local government is for. And then, of course, as I expressed before, I do have more questions, and I would like to set up a meeting with our insurance company and with council just to talk a little bit more about, potential liability for an event like that. And then as far as a sponsor, when we talk about $25,000 as a sponsorship, I mean, I don't know if that's responsible of us to be talking about when we're talking about potentially in the future maybe having to close down a fire station because our budget is so tight and we're dipping into our general fund to support our fire department. And so I think I would also feel more comfortable if was there any plans to bring in other jurisdictions and make it not just a Sutter County event, but maybe Yuba and Sutter combined? I mean, I think I would feel a lot more comfortable if there were other groups involved as well.
There has been discussion of that. In fact, the City of Marysville really wanted to own this event. The fact is there isn't a lot of agriculture in the city limits of the City of Marysville, right? And so we felt that Sutter County may be a better home for it because of the amount of agriculture, amount of harvesting that happens in Sutter County. And they're interested in partnering.
Okay. And because I think this will be a great event eventually, and because I personally think I have some more research to do, I think I'm going to just abstain from the vote because I just want a little bit more information, but I don't want to be perceived as being against it. So thank you.
Supervisor Conant.
Through the chair. So I really like the idea of the event. I think it could be a huge economic driver eventually for the community. But I am concerned about, so is Yuba City supporting it?
We met with the City of Yuba City, but it was when Dave Vaughn was with the city, and at that time he committed to verbally with us to providing law enforcement and fire resources for the event, and that would be the city's contribution.
Okay. And Marysville is not?
Marysville, I believe Marysville and Yuba County, we can get them at the table, and I believe that they would be interested in contributing in some way.
And you don't have the Farm Bureau support either, correct?
Farm Bureau, we've met with the Agricultural Committee for the Chamber of Commerce, but there were members of the Farm Bureau on the Farm Bureau board at that meeting, but we have not taken it forward to the Farm Bureau yet.
So we don't really have support of other jurisdictions or the Farm Bureau at this point. And I can express the same concerns that Supervisor McKelly has about the insurance, the staff time, the use of public funds. I'm concerned about all those things. And in a way, we're kind of stepping into the influence of we're government. We're not supposed to be competitive with private enterprises, and I'm kind of thinking we're kind of going there. And I'm concerned about that as well. I'm also concerned about the fact that this will be right in the middle of walt harvest, rice harvest. Guys will still be, I think guys will be pretty much done with almonds, especially this year. Won't be much of an almond crop. About a third of it got lost statewide. And I'm also concerned that I don't know if you really have time to plant it this year. That's the other concern I have, is it seems like we're off to a late start. And I know part of that's all of our faults. We just delayed it 2 weeks. But those are some concerns I have. I don't know if the 2 weeks makes any difference or not, but that's some concerns I have.
I can tell you that with Peach Festival, I just sent out vendor applications on the 15th of this month. And so we do have time to plan it this year. That's not a concern. And with Peach Festival, I know we talked about this before, but I can't imagine holding the Peach Festival at any other time other than Peach Harvest, because it's really, getting the freshest, ripest produce there. And we will have farm stands at the event that are selling items there. And so I think it's the ideal time of year to have it, but I agree that that's up for negotiation. As far as insurance goes, we have not, knock on wood, had an insurance claim. We mutually indemnify the City of Marysville, and so there has not been any insurance claims. So we require every exhibitor, performer, everybody at every event to provide us with an insurance certificate naming my company as well as the municipality as additionally insured for $2 million for each occurrence. So we've covered ourselves in that way. So if they're creating a liability, it's on them.
Yes, Supervisor Baines. Okay, so if I remember this correctly, that if we go with the actual partnering with Sapphire, we don't have any staff time or any investment in this, that the funds are going to be contributions or donations that are made from vendors within the community. And so, i.e., like a Sun Suite or Suico, for example. So the county is not going to be out any revenue. When you're talking about general funds, we're not out any time or any monetary. We're not out any money. Is that correct?
That is correct. So within the contract that's proposed here, there is a small amount of work that the county would be responsible for, but it's basically securing cooperation from Recology, the city of Yuba City, and really it's about contact. It's not actually getting them to sign on, and then providing a point of contact within the county and assisting the consultant to contact certain businesses and organizations, as well as attending sponsor meetings and presentations.
So I think that clears up the concern about the cost associated with it. I think this is something that our community really needs, not just for we are an agricultural hub, this community. I mean, we're an ag community, and what better thing to do than be able to celebrate with your neighbors, the commodities in this community, and also showcase. We have manufacturers in this community, whether it's Suico, going back to them, Kilby, OMC,
Nelson.
I mean, they're all here in this community, and I think this is way overdue. I don't know. I could support this. I mean, it's, again, maybe not, I wouldn't be willing to take staff's recommendation and write a $25,000 check. But I mean, with them putting in their time and the community only seeing a positive benefit from splitting the revenues, if any, are left over, I think it's a no-brainer.
If I may make one clarification on the tax liability, we are a not-for-profit entity. We don't file a tax return as a government entity. And any individual can make a donation to the county. I wouldn't presume to give tax advice to people, but we are a not-for-profit organization.
So, real quick question. So, if we were doing this, can we pick an entity? Like, for example, can we say it's going to go to our first responders, our emergency services, sheriff's department, fire department the first year?
Supervisor, I think that's a complex tax issue. I wouldn't be able to really analyze that here at this meeting. It would take additional time.
All right. Well, sorry, it's tough being able to wait. I don't know if you all know me. I like to speak first, and it's tough. This being the chairman's really tough. I got to sit back and wait. So I'm like, I want to jump out there. All right. So let's talk about it. Let's just throw the ownership thing out the window there. All right. Wow, that's that easy. I think it's a great thing. I've spoken to a lot of manufacturers, a lot of agribusiness, and a lot of different businesses and a lot of farmers over the last week. And I want to hear their input and see what they have to say. Like, reached out to Holt Ag Solutions, a couple of the other dealers, and asked them, I said, if there was some sort of ag festival, something here in the Yuba-Sutter area, would you take part in it? Would you spend the money? Because it costs thousands of dollars to set up a show. Thousands. I mean, sometimes it could hit darn near 20, 30, 40,000, and we're a tiny little company. I can't imagine what a place like OMC or Co. or them are spending. And we're already doing events throughout. So, but here's the biggest thing is we are a county known for manufacturing and agriculture. That's what we're known for. All right, we got some of the best manufacturers right here in Sutter County, shipping equipment all over the world. And a lot of it's used by 3 out of the 5 up here. And some of you out there, and so what I'm getting at is a festival just doesn't attract people, the Yuba-Sutter people here. I look at it as like the Asparagus Festival, the Garlic Festival. The Prune Festival was huge. That was huge. Everyone looked forward to that. I remember we volunteered. I was young, so we volunteered all the time for that. A lot of volunteers, a lot of service clubs wanting to volunteer to help out. And so what I'm getting at is I would like to see this geared towards both. I mean, I say I'm all the way from Live Oak, Marysville, Yuba County, City of Wheatland. And the reason why I say that is because last time I checked, we don't have hotel rooms, or I think we have like a couple restaurants in Sutter County. So they're going to fill up the hotels and the restaurants on both sides of the river. During the Calusa Farm Show, there's people staying all the way in Sacramento because the few hotels they had in Calusa, in Williams, were all sold out. So even in Yuba City, so they were driving every night. So it really is going to be good for the whole area, not just for Sutter County. And that's why I don't want to see us taking ownership in anything. I mean, like I said, we're not in the business to profit, but we are in business to help our existing businesses and so forth. Look at what we did for the city of Yuba City. We gave out millions of dollars to the city of Yuba City. Why? Because there's people that live in Sutter County that work at those businesses in the city of Yuba City. That's why we did it. You know, it was good, it all around. But what I'd like to do is I would like to see us put something out there today saying that, hey, we want to work with this thing. This is something we can get behind, but we'd like to see the other surrounding areas get behind this as well. And see if we can come up with something. It's like, you know, we don't have to say, hey, we're going to do something, but at least maybe in the next couple of weeks, if City of Yuba City, City of Marysville, Live Oak, Yuba County, and they see that, hey, we see Sutter County getting behind this, let's support this. How many people here go to the Peach Festival on the other side of the river? How many of us go to a Bishop's Pumpkin Farm every year? Right here. We support them. You know, they support us. So it could be big. And not just for Sutter County. We're looking at the wrong way. We're just going to look at the region as the whole area. And so if all the counties or the 2 counties and the different cities pull up, you could hit $60, $70, $100,000. And I think it's very easily doable, but we all have to work with each other. And same thing with Recology. So that's what I'd like to see happen.
Through the chair. So you mentioned the Peach Festival. So can you clarify something for me, Carrie? On the Peach Festival, it's co-ownership. I'm new over there. So is it co-ownership with Marysville, right? Or how does that work?
The city of Marysville owns the Peach Festival.
Okay, so they own the Peach Festival. However, Mike just mentioned all of us come from Sutter County, and there's a lot of people from all the other surrounding jurisdictions. Do the other jurisdictions also support the festival at all?
Yuba County does in a big way.
Okay, and so then do you ask them after the co-ownership with Marysville whether or not they could contribute? So, like, for instance, what I'm asking is if we were to say, let's go with the co-ownership with a commitment that you get the other jurisdictions to contribute, because we always struggle with getting them to contribute. If we, with that stipulation, would that still allow us to do the co-ownership?
If Sutter County is willing to do some by-county events within the scope of Farm Fest, like allowing us to do a farm to fork dinner down D Street in Marysville, having a wine trail event during Farm Fest up in the Yuba County foothills, if there's some by-county events worked into it, I definitely think I can get support from Yuba County and Marysville.
Okay, because it does seem like there's an interest in involving the other jurisdictions, and I can see that. I'm highly in support of this. I think from an economic value, a tourism value, this is the type of event that we've needed for many years, and I think it's something that we need to bring in, whatever form it ends up being tonight, but we need to be behind this 100%. I mean, I'm a little confused because the other day I was here talking about, agriculture and a state, having estates. And then, my colleagues were like opposed because we want to protect agriculture and we need to make sure we do that. And I totally understand it, but I think this is the time we need to be also showing what we do in agriculture, because we need to educate out there, the importance of agriculture and the importance of what we do. And, for me, these are farmers. We should be out there touting what you guys do, because it's amazing. And I think this is our opportunity to do that. And why not share that for tourism and economic impact? I mean, it's a well-known fact that any of these types of festivals are strong economic or create strong economic impact for any of the communities that they're in. So I'd be in full support of whatever format my colleagues would come up with, but it seems like a co-ownership and then inviting the other jurisdictions to the table makes a lot of sense. One question I did have, Steve, I asked last time about the insurance issue because I'm still a little concerned about that. I don't know what that is. Were you able to research that?
Supervisors, we added into the contract that we would require event insurance. Sapphire Marketing Group would also purchase at their own costs or part of the Farm Fest cost event insurance. So we checked in with Trindell and we are covered by our existing policy. We wouldn't need any sort of supplemental policy, but we would also want insurance specific for the event.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you for the clarification. I appreciate it.
All right, is there any further comments for the board? No. It's kind of odd, but I'm going to make a motion to not have any ownership in this future Fan Fest, but to, so this is amending what's out here, but to move towards some sort of sponsorship ensuing as long as the county, other counties and cities come aboard. Something that could really be put together. I just talk with constituents, people, they just don't believe, we should be part of some ownership on some festival. And I believe they're right.
Chair Ziegenmaier,
Yes.
just to clarify, and especially for the clerk of the board, so is what you're suggesting that the board declares a public purpose and provides a donation provided that other entities donate as well?
That is correct, but I don't know the dollar amount yet because, I don't want to, we normally give $5,000 a year to the city of Yuba City to put on the summer stroll and winter stroll. And we give out other monies throughout the year for different events. So it's not unheard of to sponsor different events. It's just, like I said, I'd like to get a little pressure on the other county and cities that I think this would benefit the whole area, not just Sutter County, and see what they do and see if they jump on board.
Through the chair?
Yes.
Well, just a clarification from either Steve or council. Can you do that in an amendment here without a specified amount? Can you take action on this?
Yes, it's within the scope of the agenda item, so there's no issue there. And it's not an amendment because there's not a motion on the floor.
All right.
So it's just
be a motion,
the initial motion.
But can we move forward without a specific amount? And would you have to revisit it for another meeting to decide the amount?
We would for a specific amount. You could make it for a not to exceed amount if you wanted an option.
Okay, thank you.
All right, this is something just to show that the city and Yuba County and city of Marysville, city of Live Oak, that we support such a festival if they're going to support a festival as well. But no ownership in Sutter County. Now, I don't want to say a number to exceed yet. I think it'd benefit us to set up a meeting possibly with a rep from the city, or if we could set that up, Steve, get someone from City of Live Oak and City of Yuba City, and myself, and chair and vice chair.
Honorable Chairman?
Yes.
If I may, would the County of Sutter be open to hosting the event 1 year on Sutter County side of the river and 1 year on Yuba County side of the river if it were a partnership like that?
Well, but my motion is, like I said, is I believe a partnership is a partnership, but like I said, I personally don't want to see Sutter County involved in any ownership as being owner of a event.
To the chair. So the fairgrounds are by county, and we have a by-county fair. So I don't know, are there locations in Yuba County that it would be appropriate you're thinking of? I guess they have what is it?
The Riverfront Park, and I can tell you that the city of Marysville has expressed wanting it to bring it down D Street and then doing the musical events in the arena at Riverfront Park. The issue there for us is that the rodeo takes place about 3 weeks before our event, and the bottom of the bowl of the arena is dirt at that point, and we can't run the risk of doing a big musical event in dirt or potentially mud if it rains. So they have expressed that they would like to see us do it each year on the opposite side of the river.
Supervisor, if maybe, is your motion to maybe bring back a resolution indicating multi-jurisdictional support?
That is correct, yes. Yes, if we can get the support from each side, I would support this. So, but taking out the ownership from Sutter County, or any ownership thereof.
Through the chair?
Yes, Supervisor.
What happens if Yuba County says that they want to partner with you in it with having some kind of ownership?
Well, then if that happens, then we'll have to open up those discussions. Like I said, Steve will set those meetings up with their vice chair and their chair, and maybe the mayor and their vice mayor.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Just a point of clarification, because again, I'm a little confused here. But if Carrie, can you tell me, is there a cost to the county in this? I don't see the cost.
No,
I'm looking.
It's zero cost to the county. One of the things I expressed at our meeting 2 weeks ago is we have been very fortunate, and we work hard on our sponsorship. So when we make a sponsorship commitment to you, it's typically we far exceed that. So when I tell you we're going to raise $100,000, our internal goal is $150,000. So that $56,000 in net profit, if we hold it at the fairgrounds, will actually be at $106,000 in net profit, because that's how we work our sponsors.
Okay, so there's no net cost to the county.
Zero net cost to the county.
Okay, just checking because of.
Yes, Supervisor.
I have a question again, going back to council. Council, your concern about the, again, the for-profit or how that would be perceived or received?
No, I think there's options, but I would want to work with the CAO's office. There would be a different, because we're a nonprofit organization, we would have to declare that as profit. So there is but there's avenues where we can make that happen. And just that mention that maybe putting it towards a nonprofit, I just don't quite see that mapped out in my mind to be able to give you an analysis of how that would work, but there are options for that.
With that being said, you said you just mailed out staff for the Peach Festival, which is going on in July.
July 15th and 16th, so 4 months.
October would still be way after that.
The issue is Peach Festival has been around for 22 years, and this will be the first year of Farm Festival, so we really do need to get started. Now, we're open to taking this year off of the table and starting it next year to give us more time to really establish a good committee and make sure we reach our goal. So we are open to that as well.
Well, I would love to help you drum up the support with the surrounding, with Yuba City, Live Oak. I'll be at those meetings. I'll do whatever it takes. I'm sure Vice Chair Baines would do the same thing, because we'd like to see it happen. Mm-hmm. It's just, like I said, just me personally, I just don't want to see any ownership.
And if you have time, to plan everything, to get the insurances, to figure out all the logistics with the county involved, how do we handle this monies in the future, because we are a nonprofit. Those are all concerns I have. I'd like to get those answered. I do like the idea of maybe putting it off, and I hate to say that. I hate putting things off, but I just don't think we have all the answers to the questions. We don't even have the Farm Bureau and all the other jurisdictions supporting us yet.
Right, and also it's, a historic drought here in California, so agriculture this year will not be what it hopefully will be next year. So we are open to that. Again, Sapphire is open to full ownership of it and control. It's something that we would like to see stay in Sutter County, which is why we presented the partial ownership or full ownership to Sutter County.
Well, sorry to interrupt. When is the next Yuba-Sutter Farm Bureau meeting?
The 28th.
This Monday?
Yeah.
All right. So maybe one of us should go to that and speak and see if there's support and see if we can help out, drum up some support.
Sure.
So then I'm going to pull my motion back and put a motion out there just to table this. And let's see what kind of support we can get for this over the next couple weeks.
So, I guess, friendly amendment to your motion, would it be to bring this back to our next meeting?
Yes.
I second the motion.
And I would help out in helping to gain traction. I will do whatever it takes to help build the support up and reach out to the different cities and other county.
Thank you. And we can reach out to the board in Yuba County and to the city of Marysville and get some meetings set up and maybe do a presentation to their council and just get them on board.
Perfect. All right, so we got a motion by myself and a second by Supervisor Baines. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmaier?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
Motion passes. We're going to delay, or we're going to push off for next meeting. Move on to item number 28.
Approval of a resolution authorizing a grant application for up to $477,000, $952, in per capita grant funds from the State Department of Parks and Recreation, which will be used for enhancing recreational opportunities within Sutter County.
Good afternoon, Leanne Link, Assistant County Administrator. Just as a point of clarification on this item, we are actually only allocated up to $400,000 as a county, as a rural county in California. And so the maximum amount we would be eligible for is $400,000. This applying for this grant funds does not obligate the county. However, it does put us in have the ability to apply for funds that can be specifically used for acquisition or development of capital projects solely for recreational purposes. So this is money that could be used at our boat ramps or our other areas within the county to provide additional services or additional facilities at those sites. The staff report is fairly self-explanatory, but I would be happy to answer any questions. Also, Ken Sra, our Director of General Services, is here to answer more detailed questions.
Right. We're going to open up for speaker cards. Cards. Nope. Open up for public comment. No public comment. All right. Bring back to the board.
Second.
We got a motion by Supervisor Conant. Supervisor Baines was too slow. We're going to give it to Supervisor McKelly over there. Roll call vote, please.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmaier?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Moving on to item number 29.
Adoption of a resolution affirming support for the Blue Zones project, naming Michael Ziegenmaier as a representative from Sutter County to the Blue Zone Steering Committee.
Through the chair.
Yes.
Move approval.
Second.
All right, motion by Supervisor Flores, second by Supervisor Baines.
Supervisor McKelly?
Aye.
Supervisor Flores?
Aye.
Supervisor Ziegenmaier?
Aye.
Supervisor Baines?
Aye.
Supervisor Conant?
Aye. Motion passes. Moving on to item number 30.
I apologize, Chair. There are actually comments for that.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. We have item right here in front of me. Alexandria. Sorry about that.
No
I asked every-
We're so motivated already, you know.
Alex Mazarol from Blue Zones Project, and we just wanted to welcome Michael Ziegenmaier to the Blue Zones Project Yuba-Sutter Steering Committee. Thank you so much. And we'd also like to express our appreciation and gratitude to Supervisor Baines, who also agreed to serve on our steering committee as a key connector to our Sikh community. Both of these individuals will be serving on a team of community leaders who will guide the development of a community-wide action plan that will put us on the path to improved community well-being. Committee members and Blue Zone staff work closely together, so excited, to plan and execute strategies for building awareness, engagement, and advocate for healthier people, places, and policies. We couldn't be more honored and excited to have Sutter County on board for this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. All right. All right. No other speaker cards. We're going to shut her down. We got the vote. Moving on to item number 30.
Yes. The only announcement I have is that related to the park planning grant, well, sort of related, we should know within the next few weeks if the county will be awarded the $2.7 million grant for the riverfront, Feather River Parkway grant project, which we're really looking forward to, and taking that on and improving that area of the community to make it open for all to use.
Thank you. All right, moving on to district reports, item number 30.
Through the chair.
Yes.
I just had a comment on item 31, if I could, for Neil while he's here. Don't have to get up, Neil. I just have a comment for you. I've been reviewing these monthly code enforcement activity reports, and I'm actually shocked at the year-to-date number at over 150,000 in fines received. And, obviously that's doing much better than we thought, but when we stiffened up code enforcement and we hired more code enforcement officers, we never thought the number would be that. But the other benefit, which has been great, is you're seeing that downward trend in violations, and that's exactly what we wanted. And so just kudos to you and your staff. So you're doing a good job. Keep it up. Thank you.
All right, district reports, and we'll start out with Supervisor McKelly. Moving on to Matt.
Okay, so a couple of things, and then we'll do condolences afterwards. Okay, so a couple of things. First of all, we had the spring fling at the fairgrounds last Friday night, and had a great turnout. Record. They sold the whole place out, over 500 attendees, and made a lot of money for the Ag Ed program, which sponsors the Blue Jacket program for FFA members, chapters, FFA, 4-H programs. It also supports things like the Spray Safe program that's offered every year to teach employees how to spray safely. It also helps support programs like the FFA, all the different chapters and all their activities. And there's also a scholarship that was started this time for Dave Burrows, who passed away 2 years ago. So anyway, it was a great event. People had a good time, and I would like to thank those who attended. And also I would like everybody to read on item 32. Well, it's not on our list, but it's Donna's, all the absent and vacant vacancies on various committees for the county. So please look at that. And maybe that could be added to our, when she puts it in there, make it, it's always stop at 31 or whatever it is, and hers never makes it to the list. Let's get her on there as well.
All right, Supervisor Flores.
Oh, well, lots going on in the 2nd District. This weekend, we Happy Viking sponsored a really special event. I found out that every 2 minutes a child is diagnosed with cancer, and it's a really sad deal. But St. Baldrick's Foundation, they sorry, I'm not looking at you there, John, just so you know. But St. Baldrick's Foundation, they actually shave heads, so to raise money, people went to the Happy Viking on Plumas Street in the heart of Sutter County, and a lot of people we know had their heads shaved, and I actually had the pleasure of shaving an ex-councilman's head who was here earlier tonight, and it was a lot of fun. So lots of money raised for St. Baldrick's in the 2nd District, and that was a really good deal. Second floor of the Holiday Inn Express over on Bridge Street is going up. You can see it now if you go by Bridge Street. It's kind of exciting. That's a project that was over 12 years in the works, and finally there's a hotel going up there, and I'm hearing that more future development's already looking at the area. So looking forward to the substantial growth right off Bridge Street. I'm really excited about it. And I didn't make it to the FFA Spring Fling, but my wife did. She loved it. So she told me it was a really great event, and it was nice to host it in the 2nd District of Sutter County, in the fairgrounds, in the heart of Sutter County. And having all those people there was great. But the biggest thing I heard was that the famous lemon drops by Supervisor Conant were a huge hit at the event. So thank you again for always doing that at that event. That's a big deal. But that's all I've got to report. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Supervisor Baines. We can start back up with you. Yeah?
Excuse me, if we have a letter of sympathy or condolences go out to the family of Bob Singh.
Thank you. Supervisor Flores?
No condolences. Thank you.
I just have one, and I don't have much data yet. Ed Ketchum from Rioso passed away last week, I believe, and I have not seen it in the paper. He was a devoted family man, and he had several small businesses, including a steam cleaning business that cleaned parking lots in Sacramento mostly for years. He ran out. So he'll be missed. Thank you.
All right, so local Little Leagues are going on right now. I stopped by Sutter Little League last night to watch a game, and it was an awesome game. What was it? The Angels were down 2-8 and ended up coming back and tied. It was a major game, but it was fun. And my daughters were able to get some hot dogs and hamburgers. So that's how these Little Leaguers, that's how they help raise funds. And I love stopping for dinner once a week and just buying dinner from the Little Leagues, all their snack bars and stuff. And some of them have some pretty good food. But so keep that in mind. And it's not like you're going to go watch the Kings where it's $10 for a hot dog or $8 for a bottle of water. It actually makes sense. Yes. Hey, easy. Hey, I run every day so I can eat a hot dog. So, all right. So none of these guys invited me to go to the spring fling. So.
Oh.
That's all right. They all said it was a good time. But heard it was really, really good. Awesome. It's so awesome to see everything going on right now. And rooms packed and people having a great time with friends and family, because that's what we need to do to get by, and especially being down for so long. We did have a passing of a great man from this that was originally from this area, Congressman Don Young, born and raised in Meridian, of all places, passed away 88 years old, elected to Congress 25 times, the longest serving Republican in the history of the House. That's absolutely amazing. Born June 9th, 1993 in Meridian. I'm the youngest of 3 children. Gosh dang it, man, this is absolutely amazing to see that kind of history from right here. And we don't know anything about it, so this is history right here in our very own hometown area.
So it's that was Russell Young's brother, and he served in Congress in the state of Alaska.
Yeah,
for his whole term. Yeah.
So it's really cool. It's really
the only congressman in Alaska.
And other than that, a lot of great things going. It's nice to see all these events happening, and we hope you all have the next couple good weeks, and we'll see you in a couple weeks, and we'll adjourn the meeting.
Yeah. And everyone.
Yuba-Sutter.live's local government live streams are presented by Plumas Lake Self-Storage in Plumas Lake, where lifelong local residents are helping other residents keep things safe, providing indoor storage units, outdoor RV and vehicle parking, moving supplies, and Penske truck rentals. Details at plumaslakeselfstorage.com.